Chapter 22, verse 22 of Parashas Balak, Vayichar Elokim, and God was very angry, because he was going, Vayisyatzef Malach Hashem Baderach Satanwa. So God was angry that Bilam was going with them, even though God told him he could go. But still, God was angry he was going. And the angel of God was standing in the path to thwart him. And he was riding on his donkey, and he had his two lads with him. Okay, these are some beautiful Rashis here. First of all, why was God was angry because he was going? Ra'ah shadava ra'ah. He saw that the matter was bad in the eyes of God, and yet he desired to go. Even though he knew the matter was bad in the eyes of God, he still desired to go. I don't know what time you left today, Jeffrey, off of the Parsha class. Oh, because I saw something which is very appropriate, which I'm going to share again. It said, this is from Rabbi Chaim Soloveitchik, the grandfather of the Rav, grandfather by Joseph Soloveitchik, and he said like this. He said, how come at the beginning of the portion it doesn't call Balak a king? What do you need, a chumash, Levi? What? Okay. So it says at the beginning of the portion it doesn't call Balak a king. It says Balak ben Sipor. And it's only in verse 4 that it says Balak ben Sipor melech Moab. He was the king of Moab. So why was he not called a king at the beginning? So Rav Chaim Soloveitchik, Rav Chaim says as follows. He said like this. He said, because at the beginning, he was just a regular prince. Hello, Shepsel. Thea here too? She couldn't make it today? Okay. Not yet, but hopefully she'll join. So he said, not that we're not excited to see you. We're very excited to see you, Shepsel. So he says, at the beginning, he was just a regular prince. But then he said to the elders of Midian, this community, this people that they left Egypt, they're coming, they're going to surround us. And these people are, these people, they're going to consume us. They're going to attack us. Once he started attacking the Jews and making them the scapegoat, then they made him the king. That's what Rav Chaim says. Once they started attacking him, they made him the king. All of a sudden he says, then they made him the king. Okay, so now the verse says, what does Rashi say? With Satanlo. This is the second time this week we came across the Satan. You know where else we came across the Satan? Where else in Tanakh? Hey, Kobe, go get a chumash. Bring a chumash when you come. Where else does the Satan appear in the Tanakh? Anybody remember? Job, exactly. We talked about the Satan in the book of Job. But here, it doesn't, here it's not a bad character. Here, this character is a good one. In the book of Job, Satan seems like a bad character, or perhaps marginally bad. Although the Talmud says the Satan intended in the book of Job intended for good. But here the Satan is on our side, and it doesn't really mean as Satan, it means to thwart him. So Rashi says, Malach shal rachamim hayah. Wow. God said, the Rashi says here, what page are we on, Jeffrey? I want to tell Colby. Colby, we're on 866, my dear friend. Okay. So it says, Satan is an angel of mercy. An angel of mercy. Can you ever imagine that? What's the Jewish view of Satan? He's an angel of mercy. I think Rashi had to know about the Christian view of Satan here, and he was like, what? Yeah. And he had to stick it to them here by saying, Satan is an angel of mercy. He wanted to prevent Bilam from sinning. So he shouldn't sin and perish. So he says the reason the Satan Satan in the Torah is an angel of mercy, wants to prevent us from sinning. Wow. What do you think of that, Shepsel? Very nice. And he goes out and he's riding on his donkey and he has two young men with him. By the way, these two men disappear. Rashi says, Mikano Adam Chashuv, Ayotzeo Derech, Yolichimo Shnei Anashim L'Shamsho, V'chozrim L'Shamshim Zetzeh. From here we see that if a person's going out on a journey, he should take with him two men to serve him, and then they should come back and serve each other. Basically, these two men were servants. Everybody who goes on a journey's got to have two servants next to them. Not me, but you guys should. Okay. Okay, so now, Vatera Aton et Malach Hashem Nitzav Baderach. There's a beautiful scene. And the Aton, the donkey, now it's a female donkey, sees the angel of God standing on the road, with his sword in his hand. And the donkey swerves off the road to walk in the field. And Bilam strikes the donkey to get him on the right path. Strikes the donkey to get him on the right path. So what happens now? Rashi says, Vatera Aton. The donkey saw, V'hulo Ra'ah, but Bilam could not see. Shenatan HaKadosh Baruch Hu Reshus LeBehema L'Ros Yoser Min Adam. This whole, by the way, the whole portion begins with the word Vayar Balak. Balak sees, but he doesn't see. The donkey sees and not Bilam. God gave an animal permission to see more than the man. This reminds me of the scene, Lahavdil in Harry Potter, when the cat Crinkshaw could see who Scabbard was, but nobody else could see. Remember that scene? You didn't read it, Jeff? You don't remember Crookshaw or Crinkshaw? Did anybody hear? You never read it? Hi, Thera. Good to see you. Wow, you guys should read it. It's a classic work. And God gave the animal the ability to see more than man. Because since the animal, when he would see these harmful spirits, if man would have the ability to see these spirits, he would go insane. So therefore, because man has more knowledge, God does not allow him to see everything. If we actually saw everything, we would go insane. That's actually kind of true. Can you imagine if we could see in this room all the germs flying around? Do you know how insane we'd be? How anxious? So that's what Rashi says. Oh, I'm not worried about it. And his sword was in his hand. Who's the last angel to have a sword in his hand? Who's the other angel who has a sword in his hand? It's also the last time there was a talking animal. The only other time there's a talking animal. Garden of Eden. Outside the Garden of Eden, there's two angels with swords in their hands. Rashi says, Amar Rasha Zeh, Hiniach Kli Umnaso, Shekli Zenon Shaluma Sa'olam Bacharev, Bepiv, Shulam Manoshalem. So the angel said, this wicked one put aside the tools of his craft, which is the sword, and he comes against them with the tools of our craft, which is our mouth. Hey, boys, come on in, come sit right next to me. Let's go. Let's get flying here. So too says the angel. So I'll grab that which is his. All right, Ezra, we forgive you. I'll come at you with your tool, which is the sword. Because it says, and in the end, that's how Bilam died. It says in chapter 31, Bilam died by the sword. Okay, verse 24. Jeffrey, what page?
Rabbi,
Hold
about
on.
what you just said about Becharev, about killing Bilam. We had a Onkelos expert who taught us that every time that Cherev is mentioned in the Torah, he translates lefidgam charba, fidgam like the word, and the one time that he doesn't, Becharev, is when Bilam is killed with the sword.
Very nice, beautiful, Rabbi Yosef. Excellent point. Thank you very much. Yes, he said that whenever Onkelos always translates, every time the sword appears in the Tanakh, in the Torah, he translates it as pitgam charbo, like the expression of the sword. But the only time he ever just translates it as the sword is when Bilam is killed by the sword. Okay. Now, verse 24. Do you have the page, Aaron?
Yeah.
What's so funny? What's going on? Moshe, you got the page?
Yep.
Ezra, you got it? Verse 24. Vayamod malach Hashem b'mishol hakramim gader mizeh v'gader mizeh. And the angel of God was standing in the mishol hakramim. That's Rashi is going to tell us that this means in the path, b'shvil, in the path of the vineyards. And gader mizeh, a fence on each side. Rashi says a basic fence in the Bible is made out of what? What's a fence in the Bible made out of?
Stone, I think.
What? Exactly, Greg. Let me go see. By the way, I ran in the Rock Creek Park today. I want to see you go take a nap right now in the park. Rock Creek Park. By the way, I'll tell you a funny story. I was walking in Switzerland and I came across, while I was walking, and what they do is there is very nice. They build things along the path, like for people to make fires and stuff. Like on the mountain. I don't know if they do that here in the parks too, probably also, but on the path. Anyway, beautiful stuff. And so we met these people walking. Obviously, they're not Jewish, they're in Switzerland. And he was telling me, look what we have here. He was trying to offer it to me. He was saying it's called kalavas, not kielbasa, kalavas. It's not kielbasa. I would remember that. Kalavasa, maybe something like that. I don't know exactly. He goes, you should try it. It's I think pork or anything. He goes, it's geschmack. It's a German word for tasty. The other thing that they have there, which is their delicacy, is fried apple rings, deep fried apple rings. They said it's a Swiss delicacy. Okay, so verse 25. And the donkey saw the angel of God, and so she pressed against the wall. So Bilam crushed his foot against the wall and he continued to smack the donkey. Rashi says she pressed herself against the wall. Oh yes, Jerry, please tell us what you're trying to say.
I'm going to read you a footnote.
Okay, but can you speak a little louder, please?
Let's see.
Okay, just speak regularly. We got this.
Okay. A rabbinical tradition identifies this wall with the pile of stones erected by Jacob and Laban, each promising never to cross that point with hostile intent toward the other.
Beautiful.
Identified as a descendant of Laban, the Aramean is about to violate that agreement.
That's beautiful. What's the source?
The source is a a conservative Bible called Eitz HaChaim.
Yeah, but they would have but they must have a source. What's their source?
Well, all it says is a rabbinical tradition.
They don't give a source?
No, they don't give a source.
Shvach. They have to give a source. Doesn't matter who says it. You need a source. The rabbinical tradition is what I could get away with if I'm speaking on Shabbos morning and I want to say, and I don't want to look it up or I forgot. I mean, it's a great source, Jerry, that you're saying, and I want to know who says it. If you publish something, you have to put a source on it. Don't you agree?
Yes, I agree.
We should write to the editors of that thing and ask them. All right, shkoyach for that, Jerry. I'm sure we could Google it and we'll get the source, but it's a beautiful idea. Beautiful idea. So Rashi says the angel of God continued to pass. Vayosef Malch Hashem Avor, and the angel of God continued to pass. Vayamod b'makom tzar. He stood in a narrow place. Asher ein derech ontos yamenu small, that they couldn't go to the right or to the left. Rashi says the angel of God went up ahead of them. So the Midrash says, Ma ra'al amod b'shlosha mekamos. Why did the angel stand in 3 places? Why did he do this 3 times? Simanei avos haruhu. Because he was showing Balaam signs that they represented the patriarchs. So verse 27, Vatera atonet malach Hashem. The donkey saw the angel of God, Vatirbatz tachas Bilam. She crouched down. She wasn't going anywhere. Vayicharaf Bilam, and Bilam was upset. Vayachet ha'atom b'makel, and he struck the donkey with his stick. Vayiftach Hashem et pi ha'aton, and God opened up the mouth of this donkey. When was this donkey created? Anybody remember? When was the donkey created? When was the donkey created? When does it say? Anybody remember from Pirkei Avot? What does it say?
10 things
What?
at the time of creation.
There were 10 things that were created on Friday afternoon between day and night. Remember that mission in Pirkei Avot? A third verb. Come on, Shmuel, we got to remember. I think it's in chapter 5. Let's see, where is this? I believe it's chapter 5, but I don't remember. Here it is, chapter 5. It says here in chapter 5, right here. It says, chapter 5, Mishnah 6, 10 things were created on Friday afternoon, Bein Hashmashot, between the twilight. Meaning to say, it couldn't be created during the regular time of the world, only in a twilight zone. What are these 10 things? Anybody know? The Leviathan is not here. No. No. Anybody know what are the 10 things? Okay, the first one is, we should go over this, the mouth of the earth. What's the mouth of the earth? The mouth of the earth that opened up to swallow Korach. Number 2, the mouth of the well, that's the well of Miriam, presumably. Number 3 is the mouth of the donkey that spoke. What's number 4? Anybody know? The rainbow. I by the way, have a very distinct memory of studying this with Joel Finblum. Very, very powerful memory of studying this with him around 17 or 18 years ago. The mouth of the rainbow. What comes after the rainbow? What else was created Friday afternoon? What was created, Aaron? The man. Then what was the next thing? Anybody want to take a guess? The mateh, the staff, presumably of Moses. Presumably of Moses. Hold on. Okay, what else do we have? What else? Anybody know what else? We have the next one is this.
Tongues.
Jerry jumps to the end of the mission. We'll get to that, Jerry. But first, the shamir, the special worm to help build the base of Mikdash.
The next is the letters and the writing and the tablets. Letters, writing, and the tablets. So it's possible that those are all connected to the tablets. We'd have to look at the commentaries on it. Some say also the demons, the burial place of Moses, the ram of Abraham, and some say, this is what Jerry said, the tongues, which were made with tongues, because in order to make tongues, you have to use tongues to get it straight from the fire at that exact moment. So when were the first tongues created? Joel liked that one. Remember that one? Okay. All right, that was a good one. The theory, when you speak to Joel tonight, you can tell him the tongues with the tongues. Okay, so
Will do.
okay, so Hashem opened up the mouth of the donkey, and he said to Bilam, "Ma asiti lecha, ki kitani zeh shalosh regalim." What did I do to you that you've now struck me down 3 times? Rashi says, Ramzalo atama vakeshla akor uma chogeges shalosh regalim b'shana. The angel, the donkey was hinting to Bilam, you think you have the chutzpah to destroy a nation that observes the 3 festivals? Shalosh regalim is a reference to the 3 festivals. How dare you attack a nation that observes the 3 festivals? Vayomer Bilam la'aton. So Bilam says to the donkey, Ki talalta bi, he said, you're mocking me. If I had a sword in my hand, I would kill you. Rashi says, Italalta is an expression of shame and disgrace. It was a great embarrassment to him in the eyes of the officers. He's going to kill an entire nation, and for this donkey, he needs a weapon. Okay, verse Vayomer Bilam la'aton. Vatomer atona Bilam, and the donkey said to Bilam, "Halo anochi atoncha, asher rachavta alai me'atcha hayom hazeh, ha'asken iskanti la'asot lecha kol vayomer lo." So the donkey says to Bilam, I've been your faithful donkey. You rode upon me until this day. Ha'asken iskanti, will I? Did I ever do anything wrong to you? Did I ever mess you up? Was I anything but a faithful donkey? And he said, no. Rashi says, Amrulay, they said to him, why did you not ride a horse? He said, I sent it out to the meadow to graze. Actually, the rabbis understand this, that the Bilam and the donkey were actually married. That Bilam used to sleep with the donkey. They had a very special relationship. But then the donkey, afterward, the Talmud says, I don't know if I think Rashi brings this to, yeah. Rashi's going to tell us this, that God ended up killing the donkey out of respect for Bilam, so that Bilam would not be taunted. I told you one of the things I found fascinating in Switzerland, maybe Dan, who hiked in Switzerland, remembers this, that every single cow there has a bell, and each bell is different. And this is the special relationship between the farmer and their cows. That even though they could track them in any other way, they all give each cow a special bell. It's a very not pleasant sound when you walk through a cow field, because they're all making all this tremendous noise. It's a little annoying, but they like it. Who am I to tell them what to do? So, verse 32. And so the angel of God, Vayigal Hashem, verse 31. God opened up the eyes of Bilam. Vayared Malach Hashem, and he saw the angel of God, Nitzav B'derech, standing on the road. V'charbosh l'fa b'yado, his sword was stretched out in his hand. Vayikod vayishtachu apav, and he bowed down. So now God opens up his eyes and he sees. Vayomer elav Malach Hashem, and the angel of God says, Amai kitas aton chazeh shalosh regalim. Why have you struck this donkey 3 times? I'm the one who went out as an impediment because he had gone out on the road opposite me. Rashi says this means, what is the word yarat? It's an unusual word. I don't know, remember it ever or appearing in the Torah till now. So the rabbis in the Talmud say that what does it mean? In Shabbos 105a, it means Yar'a ra'ata natata. Lashon notarikun. You know what notarikun means? It's, I think, a Greek word. It means shorthand. It stands for, each thing stands for something else. It means the donkey feared, she saw, and she turned away. Because the road is against me, meaning to say to incense me, to spite me. He was anxious. Because I saw that Bilam was hurrying to attack me and rebel against me. So therefore, I went out. Okay, I think we have to stop. Always a pleasure. Beautiful.